film begins in a peaceful suburban neighborhood during the 1980s, where a young woman named Emily is babysitting two kids, Mark and Marina. Mark seems frightened by a monster he believes lives inside his closet, so Emily pushes a chair and a teddy bear against the door to calm him. She tells Marina to stay beside her brother for comfort before heading out of the room. Downstairs, Emily turns up the music and starts dancing freely around the living room, completely absorbed in the moment. But her fun abruptly stops when she hears the garage door open, making her rush to tidy up in a panic. Expecting the parents, she walks to the garage, only to find it empty. Puzzled, she steps outside for a smoke, when something on the road catches her eye: a dead dog. Shocked, she hurries back inside and finds the teddy bear sitting in a new spot, holding a note that reads, "You're pretty." Annoyed, Emily assumes Mark is pulling a prank, but finds him sound asleep. The closet is open again, and the chair has fallen. When she goes to check on Marina, Emily accuses her of writing the note, joking that maybe her ex-boyfriend Chad, who used to pull stunts to get attention, is behind it. But Marina insists she didn't do it, even pointing out the bad grammar. Still unconvinced, Emily leaves the room, only to discover several picture frames knocked over in the hallway. Thinking it's Mark again, she returns to his room and finds the bear back on the floor, with another note that says, "Be mine." The closet door is open once more. A noise makes her spin around, and as she bends to fix the fallen frames, one of the doors nearby creaks open. Emily investigates, but no one's there, though a dark figure moves silently behind her. She goes to check on Marina again and finds the girl bound and gagged, with a note stuck to her shirt reading, "Forever." Terrified, Emily bolts downstairs to call the police, only to discover the phone line has been cut. Suddenly, the TV flickers on, showing a grainy video of a masked figure dressed like the Grim Reaper, holding a sign that reads, "And ever." A camera is set up nearby, and moments later, the same masked figure appears behind Emily and viciously stabs her. Time passes, and we meet Dina, a young woman returning to her hometown after years away. She's startled by Chad, her old friend, who sneaks up on her with a camera, teasing her non-stop until another man named Willis intervenes and shoos him off. Willis checks if Dina's okay, and she nervously assures him she's fine. Later, at a local drugstore, Dina spots a forest ranger named Elizabeth and exchanges a polite nod. She grabs her father's prescriptions and leaves. Elsewhere, the town's sheriff, Arnold, finds a mysterious package waiting on his porch. Inside is a single garage remote that instantly unsettles him. Dina later meets her best friend Hattie at a cafe, and the two happily reunite. Over coffee, Hattie jokes that she's babysitting the sheriff's kid tonight and plans to win his heart since his wife died years ago. Meanwhile, Arnold and his deputy Butch visit a house recently listed for sale, the same house where Emily was murdered. Arnold hands Butch the remote from the package, and when he presses the button, the garage door opens. Arnold explains that someone left it on his doorstep that morning. Later, Dina returns home, greeted warmly by her mother. When she tries talking to her father about school, he barely reacts, lost in silence. Her mother later comforts her, saying he's proud of her deep down. But Hattie calls soon after, claiming there's an emergency and asking for help. Back at the station, Arnold receives another box labeled with his name. Inside, he and Butch find a VHS tape titled "Night of the Reaper." They play it and see grainy footage of a young camper hearing strange noises in the woods. When he investigates, he discovers a dead dog. Returning to his tent, he finds a camera set up, and then the Reaper suddenly appears and kills him in one swift motion. Arnold recognizes the victim as Connor Davis, a boy found dead 2 years ago near the creek. Though ruled an accident, Arnold confesses he never believed that. Meanwhile, Hattie calls Dina again, begging her to babysit the sheriff's son since she's too sick to go. Dina reluctantly agrees. Arnold and Butch drive through town and spot Elizabeth examining another dead dog on the roadside, one of several found recently. They continue to the woods where Connor died and find yet another package waiting for them. Inside is another cassette titled "Night of the Reaper, the Babysitter." The officers watch in horror as it shows Emily's final moments before her murder. On replay, they spot a van parked outside, the same van belonging to Chad. Back at the sheriff's house, Dina meets Arnold's young son, Max, and the two get along quickly. Meanwhile, Arnold and Butch interrogate Chad, seizing his camera. Chad smugly refuses to answer questions, demanding a lawyer and mocking their accusations, until Arnold claims he's been making snuff films and might have helped kill Emily. Chad's confidence falters, but he denies everything. At the house, Dina offers Max candy in exchange for a tour. The boy shows her around, eventually leading her to the basement, where she discovers a box of his late mother's belongings, including a wedding dress. Max becomes upset, so they head upstairs. Passing a locked door, Max explains it's his dad's office, where he keeps a gun. Dina notices a framed photo of his mother and learns she died in a car crash. Soon after, Arnold calls to check in, and Dina assures him everything's fine. Back at the station, Arnold grows frustrated with Chad's arrogance and accuses Willis of being an accomplice. Butch insists they can't act without proof, which enrages Arnold enough to storm off alone in search of Willis. That night, Dina puts Max to bed and goes downstairs for a drink. While pouring herself some whiskey, she hears a dog shriek outside. Grabbing a flashlight, she steps out to investigate and finds the animal dead in the yard. Then, the door behind her starts rattling violently. She races back inside and locks it, her heart pounding. Calling animal control, she reports the dead dog and is told they'll pick it up in the morning. Meanwhile, Arnold breaks into Willis's empty apartment. The TV crackles with static, and a bloody dog collar on the floor catches his attention. Back at the sheriff's house, Dina calls Hattie, scared and lonely. But mid-conversation, Dina hears a loud thud upstairs and assumes it's Max, yet gets no reply. On Hattie's end, the doorbell rings and she cuts the call, leaving Dina begging her not to answer. Terrified, Dina realizes someone's moving through the house and sees the basement door slowly creak open. Meanwhile, Arnold hears faint music in Willis's apartment and follows the sound, discovering yet another tape labeled Night of the Reaper. Dina, trembling, approaches the basement and flicks on the light, cutting to Arnold ambushing Willis and arresting him for Emily's murder. Dina frantically tries to call Hattie again, but no answer. She checks on Max, who's still asleep, then finds a photo of his mother now defaced with a newspaper clipping about her death. Suddenly, glass shatters upstairs. Dina hurries up and finds the source, Arnold's office window. At the station, Arnold hauls in a bloodied Willis while Chad, now freed, watches in shock. Alone later, Arnold plays the tape found at Willis's place, only to see his own late wife in the footage, alive but terrified, before the Reaper bludgeons her to death. The discovery devastates him. At home, Dina enters Arnold's office and spots a wall covered in evidence from his investigation. But loud footsteps make her panic, and she quickly dials 911. At the station, Arnold forces Butch out of the interrogation room and violently questions Willis, demanding to know why he had footage of his wife. Willis cries that someone ordered him to give it to Arnold, but before he can name who, Butch interrupts with urgent news of an emergency call. Back at the sheriff's house, the Reaper sneaks toward Max's room with a knife and a camera, as police cars race elsewhere. Hearing a voice from another room, the killer follows it, only to realize it's coming from a tape recorder. The officers arrive at a drugstore, responding to a bomb threat, but the bag they find is empty. Inside the house, the Reaper grabs the recorder, but Dina leaps from the shadows and tasers them, grinning as the killer collapses. Later, the Reaper awakens, tied to a chair, forced to watch footage of Emily's murder on a nearby TV. Dina appears on screen wearing a mask, revealing she knows who they are and what they've done. She says she found their hidden stash of tapes and a journal outlining plans to kill Hattie and Max. When the Reaper removes their mask, it's revealed to be Elizabeth. Dina explains she orchestrated everything, poisoning Hattie's coffee to keep her home sick, drugging Max's drink so Willis could move him somewhere safe, and even calling in the fake bomb threat to distract police. Elizabeth stumbles in disbelief, searching the kitchen for a weapon but finding none. On the fridge, she spots a photo of Emily with the words, "I came to watch you die." Panicking, Elizabeth flees upstairs, discovering more written messages along the walls. She finds a walkie-talkie through which Dina taunts her, saying they're all waiting. At the station, Arnold learns the bag left at the store was Dina's. Elizabeth sees Dina outside, face painted like a Reaper, signaling her with a flashlight. Furious, Elizabeth charges at her, only to find herself surrounded by scarecrows dressed as Reapers. Suddenly, the truth is revealed. Dina is Emily's older sister, seeking vengeance for her death. But before she can strike, Chad knocks her out with a heavy log. He and Elizabeth drag her unconscious body inside. Arnold, unable to reach his house, drives there alone, while Dina awakens tied up as Chad tends to Elizabeth's wound. Dina calmly tells Elizabeth she saw her at Emily's funeral and followed her afterward. She mocks Chad for protecting a murderer, reminding him how his abusive father used to hit him. Chad snaps, shouting that Elizabeth is an artist and that Emily became famous because of them. He admits killing a deputy who showed up earlier, saying they must flee, but Elizabeth assures him they'll stay unnoticed as always. Suddenly, a voice crackles over a walkie-talkie. Willis's. Dina taunts them, saying they're losing control. Chad tries to lure Willis in to kill him, but Elizabeth suddenly shoots Chad in the head, then lunges at Dina. Sometime later, Dina awakens bound to a chair as Emily's final moments play on a TV nearby. Elizabeth, now masked again, explains her philosophy. People forget victims unless someone records their pain. She stabs Dina's leg cruelly, but Dina gasps that she forgot something, that she didn't just kill Emily. Right then, Arnold bursts in and shoots Elizabeth. He's frantic about his son, but Dina assures him Max is safe. Arnold is horrified to see that the Reaper was Elizabeth all along. She tries to twist the story and beg for help, but he doesn't believe a word and ends her life with one last bullet. In the aftermath, Arnold realizes Dina sent him the mysterious packages. She admits she wanted him to know the truth. When he tries to call it in, she stops him, saying Elizabeth doesn't deserve to ruin anyone else's life. Arnold then proposes they report Elizabeth missing and later discover her evidence, framing her posthumously as the killer. The plan succeeds and the police find Chad's body along with proof in Elizabeth's home. The movie closes at Emily's memorial as Arnold and Dina share a somber understanding. They've both taken revenge and buried the monster for good, bound forever by their shared secret. And that wraps up Night of the Reaper, a haunting mix of classic slasher tension and eerie mystery that sticks with you long after it's over. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more chilling recaps. Why stop now? Check out some more movie recaps. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.